you see the guy in Utah? So Brandy Zadrozny, who's this gross albino that looks like Edgar Winter on MSNBC. She's a misinformation expert. She has glasses. She was trying to do a smear job on Jimmy for saying Ukraine was planning to kill Tucker, which Jimmy didn't even say. By the way, this stupid bitch. She's from Pratt. She was like a librarian tech degree, and now she's a CIA. Her other passion is debunking satanic panic because, you know, it's coming back, the satanic panic, where people keep panicking about the satanic. And so I'm looking her up because every time Jimmy gets one of these letters, I look the people up now because I want to see what fucking scumbag outfit they come from. So her big thing was debunking. So in Utah, you saw the DA, that weird corrupt DA that did a press conference to announce that he's not a satanic cannibal, and no one was saying he was, so it was bizarre.
I am not a suspect in a criminal investigation.
Several times David Levitt named himself and mentioned cannibalism and murder. This investigation is about child sexual abuse.
There is no organized ring of abuse.
You're admitting you don't really know the facts of that case.
I don't know what they're investigating, but if it has anything to do with this therapist and the report of 25 years ago, that is 100% false.
That piece of news made it by me.
Okay, so this guy, so some fucking shaman guy who's a Mormon, but he's also an expert in whatever the native shit is, and there's a lot of them like that weird America frontier occult shit, especially Mormons are into. And this fucking dude was he claimed it was adoption, but it was not adoption. He was trying to get some reservation family to give him a daughter in exchange for being allowed to sell buffalo meat to Ukraine.
This video shows David Levitt in 2020 explaining how he tried to broker a deal with a tribe in Montana, offering them the ability to export buffalo to Ukraine. He calls it part of his strategy.
There's such a prejudice in the Native community about a non-Native adopting a Native.
This is not how you adopt a child. This is how you procure a child.
All social services looked at us and said, we're not giving you this baby. He said, listen, the Levitts are friends of the tribe. He's an asset. They're assets to the tribe for more than just this. I left, and 5 minutes later, the phone rang, and it was the social worker saying, I think I figured out a way to get this child to you.
The child in question is Levitt's great step foster niece, but her biological father did not want to give up his parental rights.
It's all recorded. And he's going, listen, I know she'll know more about her culture than you're going to be able to teach her. Like, he's like, I know you, dude, that's wizard shit. That's what the fuck that shit means. And that means they want to do something weird with that girl. That's how I take it. Then this maniac gives a press conference to be like, I am not a satanic. So,
I mean, the allegations that are there are so outlandish and so crazy that, they're just not true. There is no organized ring of abuse. This therapist was my elders quorum president in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He was my neighbor. I had a family connection. When his wife learned of whatever he was doing, she divorced him, and I testified at that divorce hearing. I'm well aware of who the therapist is, and I'm well aware of many of the players.
In Utah, everyone's like, what in the hell is this? And it wasn't like it's a conspiracy. Everybody's like, this is nuts. They are doing some kind of SRA, and they were using the term SRA. And Brandy Zadrozny was doing her best to debunk it as a panic, but I looked it up because she mentioned it, and I couldn't believe. I've never seen anything like this. It sounds like I'm making it up, doesn't it? I'm not. Then the guy's being interviewed. He goes, yeah, unfortunately, there are ways, And he's like laughing about it. He goes, you could program a kid, with him to be a sex slave. It's real easy to do. The way he's talking is so insane.
Do I think that occurs? Yeah, I think it occurs. I know some victims of it. Yeah, I know some victims of it. I was not in a position to prosecute it. Who was into Native American stuff? He'd kill deer and get deer hearts and drink their blood and drink the deer's blood. How do you train a dog to roll over when it's time to roll over? You do it by giving a reward and repetition. If a man wants to program some little girl to give immoral sex anytime he wants to, start young and give rewards. I mean, it's unfortunately I've never, it's the same way you help a child learn how to make their bed.
And the whole reason this came up is because he wouldn't recuse himself from the case of this shaman who is ritually abusing kids. And they were like, since you know him, don't you think you shouldn't be presiding? And he didn't want to not preside over it. And then all this shit happened. And so then they passed a law about ritual abuse and I'm like, I didn't hear about this in the national news. Why isn't this a national story? It's really a crazy story.
Therapist case Levitt's referring to involved a man who was charged with raping his own daughter. Charges were dismissed, but Levitt said that victim also accused 15 to 20 other people, including Levitt and his wife.
I'm confident that you will see for yourself that it is absolutely ludicrous.
Levitt called the victim tragically mentally ill.
These are victims of crime who have mustered the courage to come forward, and this is what we call them, is mentally ill, our victims of crime. How dare you?
Smith says his office never named Levitt in any way, and there are multiple victims beyond the one Levitt called mentally ill. He said Levitt's actions today may have now compromised their case. Do you think he should resign? He wants you to resign.
I'm not going to play that game with him.
You want the sheriff to step aside as well as Sergeant Cannon. Do you think you need to step aside while this investigation plays out?
Absolutely not.
Fox 13 News has chosen not to name any of the suspects at this time, but that did not stop Utah County Attorney David Levitt from naming himself, announcing he is not a murderer, a cannibal, or a child sex abuser. He says it was politically motivated, but even his own employees now say they disagree.
I would take exception to the suggestion that this is politically motivated. This is about trying to do the right thing for the investigation.
Even though Levitt has been the most vocal suspect, he is not the only one. Another figure accused of being part of the child sex abuse was just in court today, trying to get his record expunged.
To the Fox 13 newsroom, former therapist David Hamblin is now facing new charges.